Hello, Homeworks members, and welcome to your 2024 district meeting. We're excited to have you logged on with us tonight. I'm Casey Phelan, and I'll be your moderator for tonight's event. Before we begin, let's quickly cover our meeting protocol so you know how to participate with us this evening. If you've attended virtually with us before, you know the drill. You can interact with us during tonight's meeting by using the simple buttons that pop up on your Zoom webinar screen. The first button is Raise Hand. You'll use this button anytime you'd like to make a motion or second a motion tonight. Next up is the chat button. You can type in the chat box if you'd like to make a comment, nominate yourself or another member for a position, or bring up any matters of business this evening. Third, the Q&A button is to be used if you have a question that you'd like to pose to our CEO. Clicking on this button will bring up a box that allows you to type your question, which will pass on to Mr. O'Neill for the Q&A session at the end of tonight's event. Our communications manager will be monitoring your comments and questions throughout the meeting, and we will be sure to follow up with you afterwards if any of your questions are unable to be answered during the live event. Back to voting. When it's time to vote on a motion this evening, your voting options will pop up directly on your screen for you. Simply click on the button representing the way you would like to vote. And as the votes come in, the polling numbers will show up right there on the screen so everyone can see the results in real time. Moving on, do you have your district meeting scratch-off card ready tonight? You should have received it in the mail as long as you registered for your meeting by April 29th. We hope you'll join in the fun during the meeting by scratching off the different circles on your card when we tell you to throughout the meeting to see if you have a winner. If you have a winning card at the end of the night, you'll simply mail it back to us with your name and service address filled in on the back here by May 31st, and we'll verify it and apply your prize. You could win 1, 3, or 6 months of free Homeworks Connect fiber internet service or an equivalent bill credit on your electric account, just for playing along. We'll be back at different points throughout the meeting to tell you when to scratch off the different circles on your card, so keep your card handy. Next, I want to remind you that you can follow along with some of the topics we discussed this evening in your digital district meeting booklet, which you should have received by email this afternoon. This helpful booklet can also be accessed at homeworks.org/D2booklet. And finally, as always, be sure to stay logged on until the end of this meeting so you don't miss out on the prize drawings that you were automatically entered into just by attending tonight. We have a lot of great items that we're excited to give away, but you must be present to win, so stay with us. All right, now that you've got the basics down, it's time for us to get started. Here to officially kick off tonight's meeting is your District 2 Director, Jim Stebbins. Good evening, Director Stebbins.
Hello, District 2 members, and welcome to your 2024 live stream virtual district meeting. It is great to have so many of you logged on this evening. Isn't it nice to be part of a local rural electric cooperative where we have opportunities like this to come together and engage directly with our CEO and others who lead this unique organization? That's an important part of the co-op difference. Homeworks is locally owned by you and me and our neighboring members all across rural mid-Michigan service footprint. You and I aren't just customers of Homeworks, we're members and owners, and we all have a say in the direction of the cooperative. As your District 2 Director, you have elected me to represent your interests on the board, and I thank you in trusting me with that honor and responsibility. My fellow directors and I make decisions. We do so with your needs in mind, not to satisfy the financial goals of some faraway investors, but being a small, locally owned electric cooperative does not mean Homeworks isn't doing big things on the state and even national level. Did you know that in partnership with our power supplier, Homeworks is a state leader in providing you with power that is well over 50% carbon-free and 20% renewable? Or that our CEO and his staff have played an important role in recent legislative advocacy efforts regarding electric grid reliability and rural broadband access, among other items. Of course, we all know that Homeworks has been on the leading edge of providing quality broadband access to our members. Now co-ops across the country are following suit and helping to fill the broadband gap in rural America. And perhaps most importantly for us, Homeworks leads by example by providing us with power that is over 99.9% reliable and consistently outperforming our much larger neighboring investor-owned utilities in the Michigan Public Service Commission's reliability and service standards. CEO Christian O'Neill will talk about these outstanding achievements during his co-op update in just a little bit. But first, we have our district brief business meeting to conduct this evening. Our district includes Homeworks members who reside in Berry and Ionia counties. Just under 3,000 of the co-op's 23,000 members receive service in our district. I am currently serving my third three-year term as your director after being reelected last year. In addition to electing your board representative every 3 years, you also choose district officers at this meeting each May and approve delegates to represent our district at our annual meeting in August. Our current district officers include our district vice chair, Nathan Smith of Portland, who will conduct our brief business meeting in just a few minutes. Our secretary is Chris Caesar, also of Portland. Our district chair, Wilma Bailey of Ionia, had to step down recently as she has moved to a location not served by Homeworks. Thank you, Wilma, for your years of dedicated service to the co-op. We will miss you. Thanks also to Nathan and Chris for your service to our district. And thanks again to all of you for joining us here this evening to participate in the democracy of our co-op. Having engaged member owners makes Homeworks a stronger cooperative. Now, please welcome CEO Chris O'Neill.
Thank you, Director Stebbins. District 2 members, welcome to your 2024 district meeting. I'm Chris O'Neill, your co-op CEO. I want to echo Director Stebbins in saying that it is my great privilege and honor to serve you, and it is a responsibility that I do not take lightly. We are continually striving to develop new and innovative ways to serve you better, and you'll hear about some of those projects later tonight. I really appreciate that you've taken the time to join us tonight. It's your engagement and ownership that helps set co-ops like Homeworks apart from other utility companies. Now, I want to quickly highlight another thing that really sets co-ops apart, which is our community outreach. One of the most significant ways we try to reach out to help our local communities here at Homeworks is through our Tri-County People Fund. Our People Fund has granted over $2.65 million to families and organizations throughout our service territory since 1993. As you know, our People Fund wouldn't be possible without those of you who voluntarily round up your monthly electric bill to the nearest dollar as part of Operation Roundup. And I want to sincerely thank you, each and every one who do so. Our People Fund board of 7 volunteer directors works very hard to make sure each grant request is considered with care. Here in District 2, your People Fund director is Jerry Sapina. Thank you, Jerry, for all of the time and compassion you and your fellow board members put into this important program. I also want to take a minute to recognize our longtime District 6 People Fund director, Dick Donnelly, who stepped down in March after 20 years of dedicated service to the board. I'd like to say that if there was a Mount Rushmore of Homeworks folks, Dick's face would be on it. In addition to his work on the People Fund, he has volunteered as a district officer in his district for many years. He's just a heck of a guy and a great supporter of the co-op, and we're going to miss him and his insights and guidance on the People Fund board. Speaking of the Mount Rushmore of Homeworks, I want to honor another person who would certainly be on that mountain, and that's our electric operations manager, Chris Reed. I'm sure many of you know Chris. He's a tireless Homeworks ambassador who embodies the co-op spirit as much as anyone I have ever had the pleasure of working with. Chris has announced that he will be retiring in August after 36 years with the co-op, and we are sure going to miss him. Thankfully, he's been able to pass along his valuable insights and co-op knowledge to longtime Homeworks lineman who will be stepping into his role, Mr. Ryan Smith. Thank you, Chris, for everything you have given to the co-op over the past 3+ decades. All right. Outside of the People Fund, we have a couple other community programs that help make a big difference locally. This year, we made Touchstone Energy Classroom Technology grants to several local classrooms, including a $1,200 grant here in District 2 to Maple Valley Schools for a technology upgrade to help students learn. We also awarded a $2,500 Touchstone Energy College Scholarship to 5 very deserving high school students in our service area. And in June, we'll be sending 4 outstanding students from our local communities to take part in the Electric Cooperative Youth Tour, an all-expenses paid trip to Washington, D.C. to learn important lessons about leadership, the co-op business model, and our great country's history. Another way we're able to impact our local communities this spring was through the matching grant program offered by one of our lenders, CoBank. With CoBank's help, we were able to donate $7,000 to the Barrington Mobile Food Pantry, $7,000 to the Mecosta Area Senior Center, and $6,000 to the Chippewa Hills Orchestral Society to support their important work in our service area. Like you, we're truly invested in continuing to make rural mid-Michigan an even better place to live. Thank you for helping us to make a difference in our communities year in and year out. Outside of the People Fund and our grant and youth programs, another way your co-op reaches out to our local communities is through our safety program. As your electric utility, we know how important it is to provide information to our members and the public about how to stay safe around electricity and other products we distribute. One way we do this is with our hotline demonstration trailer that we take around to local schools and events. If you're interested in talking to us about bringing our electric safety demo to your event, please give us a call. On the topic of safety, I do want to quickly touch on an unfortunate string of gunshot incidents and damage to our regulators, transformers, and other electric equipment that we've been experiencing over the past several months. These incidents appear to be intentional, and we are working with the Michigan State Police and local law enforcement to investigate the situation. So far, these incidents have caused tens of thousands of dollars in damage to our electric system that you own. Of course, damage like this can cause safety and reliability issues as well. So we're very intent on putting an end to it as quickly and safely as possible. If you see or hear anything that would be help in the investigation, please give us a call or report it directly to the Michigan State Police. Another quick update I want to provide you regarding both safety and reliability is that we are currently wrapping up the testing and piloting of our new electric outage text notification program. With this offering, you'll be able to receive text messages when your power is out to update you on the progress throughout the restoration process. We plan to fully launch this convenient program by June 1st, so watch for more info to come very soon. Something else I'm excited to announce is that we'll be hosting your district's park party on June 6th at the Flats Pavilion in Portland again. We were overwhelmed by the response to these community events last summer, and we really enjoyed the opportunity to meet so many of you. We'll send out more details as the event nears, and we hope to see you there. Later in the summer, your annual meeting will be back at the Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort in Mount Pleasant on Saturday, August 17th. If you opted to serve as an annual meeting delegate when you registered for this meeting, you'll receive your invitation in the mail in the coming months. All right, I'll be back with you for a brief pre-recorded operations update in a few minutes. First, you need to hold your annual business meeting. Your district vice chair, Nate Smith, will now come up to conduct this portion of tonight's proceedings. Good evening, Nate.
Good evening. Thank you, Chris. I'm Nathan Smith, and I was elected as your district vice chair last year. Homeworks Executive Assistant Michelle Hoon just informed me that we do have a quorum with 128 member households in attendance tonight. Thank you for taking the time to log in. Let's start our business meeting off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Now we'll have our secretary, Chris Caesar, take care of our next agenda item.
Thank you, Nate. Following the notice of the meeting and the proof of mailing of the 2023 minutes are on page 4 and 5 of your district meeting booklet. I'm going to make a motion that we dispense of the reading of these and accept them as presented. Nathan?
Thank you, Chris. Can I get a second to accept the notice of meeting, proof of mailing, and 2023 minutes as presented? Our moderator tells me we have a motion and a second to accept the notice of meeting, the proof of mailing, and the minutes from our last meeting as presented. Please vote on this motion using the polling buttons on your screen now. Thank you. Motion carried. When you registered to attend this meeting, you were asked if you wanted to be invited as a delegate to Homework's annual meeting in August. Those of us who signed up to serve as 2024 annual meeting delegates are listed on page 7 of your district meeting booklet. I move that we dispense with the reading of the delegates and accept the list as presented. Can I get a second? It has been moved and seconded to approve the delegates as presented. Please vote now using the functions on your screen. Motion carried. Mr. O'Neill, please come forward for the election of district officers.
Thank you, Nathan. First, let me remind you what your volunteer district officers do for your cooperative. The chair typically runs the annual membership meeting. The vice chair steps in if the chair is not available, as Nate has done here tonight. The secretary reads the notice of mailing and calls for approval of the minutes from the previous year's meeting, as Chris did this evening. Every 3 years, the officers also serve as the nominating committee when your district's board seat comes up for election. That was their job last year. Your district chair seat is currently open since Wilma Bailey has recently stepped down. I want to echo Director Stebbins in thanking Wilma for everything she has done for the co-op over the years. During the registration process, Bernie Moros of Ionia expressed interest in running for the chair position. Is there a motion to nominate Bernie? We have a motion. Is there a second? We do have a second for the nomination of Bernie Moros. Are there any other nominations from the floor? If not, let's go ahead and vote on your chair position now. Thank you. Bernie Moros has been elected as your chair. Your district vice chair is Nathan Smith. That was a tough one. Is there a motion to nominate Nate to serve another term? We have a motion. Is there a second? Thank you. We have a motion and a second to nominate Nathan Smith. Are there any other nominations from the floor? If not, let's put your vice chair position to a vote now. Thank you. Nathan Smith has been elected as your vice chair. Your district secretary is Chris Caesar. Is there a motion to nominate Chris to serve another term? We have a motion. Is there a second? We have a motion and a second to nominate Chris Caesar. Are there any other nominations from the floor? If not, let's go ahead and put your secretary position to a vote now. Thank you. Chris Caesar has been elected as your secretary. Thank you to all of our candidates. Now I'll turn it back over to Nate.
Thank you, Mr. O'Neill. Is there any other business to come before this district? If not, I will accept a motion to adjourn. We have a motion. Is there a second? Moved and seconded. We are adjourned. Thank you. Now I'll hand it over to our moderator, Casey Thalen.
Thank you, Nathan. And thank you to all of our members who voted in our business meeting tonight. Now we're going to move on to the co-op update portion of our meeting. But first, let's get your scratch-off tickets out to scratch off the first section of your card. Okay, scratch off circle number 1 only and see if it matches the winning symbol shown on the screen now. If it does, you're off to a great start. If not, don't worry. I'll be back later to reveal the next winning symbol, and if you match any section throughout the evening, your card is a winner. Now, CEO Chris O'Neill has pre-recorded an informative update for you, and at the conclusion of the briefing, Chris will be back here live in person to answer your questions. Remember to use the Q&A box at any time to enter any questions that you would like to pose to Chris. Now, sit back and enjoy Chris's co-op update.
Hello, Homeworks members. You've just finished up your business meeting, which is one of the reasons our bylaws call for us to hold these events each year. You and your neighbors own Homeworks Tri-County Electric Cooperative, and it's important that you have an opportunity to make your voice heard in our elections and other voting matters each year. Your co-op has been democratically run by the members since it was founded by a local group of farmers 87 years ago. And that still sets us apart from other types of utilities to this day. Beyond your business meeting, the reason I love our district meetings is that they give us a chance to give you real insight into the operation of your co-op. With other types of utilities, the relationship between the customer and the corporation is typically transactional in nature. You pay your bill each month, and they provide you with service in return. And it doesn't go very far beyond that, right? It's different here at Homeworks because being a member-owned co-op, we seek more of a partnership with you. Of course, we're here to provide you with reliable electricity, but we also strive to get to know you and your communities so that we can advocate for you and discover new ways that we can work to enhance the quality of your lives. That's how our service, like Tri-County Propane and Homeworks Connect Fiber Internet, came to be. Those offerings were born out of the real conversations with you about the gaps you felt we could help fill in your communities. We truly are here to solely serve you, so we value any opportunity to give you a look at your co-op and to hear back from you on the ways we can serve you better. So let's get started. First off, I want to take a minute to recognize the 109 employees who make everything we do at Homeworks possible. For instance, did you know that just 24 Homeworks linemen keep the lights on for our nearly 24,000 members across our service footprint? Or that just 19 member service reps take care of the needs of our electric, propane, and fiber internet and phone customers who call in or stop into our offices each day. Across every department, we hire talented, caring, and hardworking individuals, and they work incredibly efficiently to provide you with customer service that is beyond compare. As your CEO, I couldn't be more proud of the extraordinary team we have serving you. Outside of their work in the office and in the field, our employees are doing great things in your communities as well. We told you last year about our employee community engagement program that recognizes employees for the volunteer work they do. Thanks to the generosity of our workforce, that program continues to grow. Can you believe that last year, our employees served a total of 4,814 volunteer hours throughout our service territory? Tri-County Propane Team Lead Trevor Wood was recognized as our 2023 Volunteer of the Year for serving an incredible 356 hours. And in total, 78 employees participated in the program. Even more than their talent on the job, I appreciate these employees for their genuine desire to make a positive impact on the lives of their neighbors in need. Cooperative principle number 7 is concern for community, and I'm proud to come to work every day with a team of people who truly embody that value. Another cooperative principle is member economic participation. Because you are a member owner of Homeworks with a financial stake in the co-op, we strive to always provide you with an honest look at our operations and our financial status each year. You'll find a detailed financial report on pages 8 and 9 and 12 and 13 of your district meeting booklet. The co-op is continuing to grow slowly with a net of 248 new active meters in 2023. Due to mild weather conditions in 2023, energy sales were down, with a 4% decrease in kilowatt hour sales over 2022. While sales were down, our costs continued to rise, which, as you know, necessitated a rate increase in October, which I'll talk about more in just a minute. But with that increase and the successful long-term planning of our accounting team and our board, we're again able to keep our overall financial numbers strong, which is no small feat in these times. I'm proud to report that the financial status of both the cooperative and our subsidiary is healthy. I mentioned that you are a part owner of Homeworks. Did you know that means you get a share of our profits? That's right. Being a co-op member means that when we have operating margins, that money gets allocated back to you as capital credits based on your share of electricity purchases during the year. That allocation of margins helps to make up your equity in the co-op. Our bylaws call for us to use those funds as needed as operating capital for the cooperative. Then, during years that our board deems the financial status of the co-op will allow it, we retire some of our capital credits and return them to you, typically as a credit on your bill. So far, we have returned well over $24 million in member equity to you and your neighbors. In fact, you may have noticed a bill credit on your electric bill this past December when our board authorized a $750,000 capital credit retirement. Members who purchased energy from Homeworks in 1992 and or 2022 received the capital credit retirement. Capital credits are another obvious example of the co-op difference. Can you think of another service that you pay for where you receive equity and eventually cash back when the company turns a profit? It's not a common occurrence, that's for sure. And it's something we are proud to be able to provide to our members as a rural electric cooperative. We had another mild winter this year. So in March, our board decided to hold off until the fourth quarter of this year to determine if another capital credit retirement is viable based on our 2024 financials. Be sure to watch your Country Lines magazine for more info on that decision to come later this year. Okay, moving on to one of my favorite topics here at Homeworks, electric reliability. I'm thrilled to report that your power was once again over 99.9% reliable in 2023. Our power consistently hits that standard in a large part because of the investment we have made to continually harden our electric system against wind and storms. Our right-of-way program really does play a pivotal role in keeping your lights on by preventing outages before they occur. Tree trimming and tree removal is one of the things that we receive the most questions about from our members. So we put together a quick video that explains why and how we keep our right-of-ways clear. I think you'll find it very informational. Let's take a look.
The right-of-way is basically a corridor that we like to keep trees clear of the power lines. Depending on the type of construction of the power line, depends on the width. It's anywhere from 30 to 40 feet wide. Well, our 6-year cycle is based on the average growth of most trees in the area. If we clear our right-of-way to full specs, that'll give us enough time between clearings to ensure that our linemen can safely and efficiently make any repairs or do any maintenance, as well as keeping vegetation from encroaching on the power lines.
The reason we trim the trees is for safety and reliability. Trees are the number one cause of our power outages. Even with the 6-year cycle that we're on, they still are the number one cause. it's beneficial to be proactive so we can obviously prevent these outages before they happen.
So when we schedule our right of ways to be cleared, we send out postcards to every member that lives on that circuit, letting them know, contractor A will be in your area to clear the right of way. And we require our contractors to have a planner stop at each location that needs work, review the specs with the member, get a plan together with the member. Communication is the key to making this whole thing work.
When I talk to the members and try to explain, why it is we need to cut the trees, certainly safety and reliability are the first things that come to mind. No one likes to have their power off. Certainly, most people don't like to have the trees cut either, but they can understand the reason why we need to do it. The members expect reliable power just because our power is 99.9% reliable. And over the course of the years, that's increased because of our right-of-way program. So we're very proud of that.
I think our right-of-way program is a little bit different than, some investor owns, with our members owning the cooperative, it's everybody takes their part and they're more willing to work with us. The co-op has done a really good job of building trust with our members to make sure we're doing the right thing we can with their money. The big picture is it's the member system. We're member owned. The member owns the power lines, the poles, the transformers, everything that we want to keep clear, keep up, and keep operating as flawless as we can. It benefits them the most because they do own the system.
We know from past experience that keeping the right of way cleared is the most efficient and effective way to keep the lights on.
I hope that video gave you a little bit of insight into why we pay so much attention to keeping our areas around the electric lines clear of vegetation. Now, there's no denying the fact that the cost of maintaining a reliable electric system, like most costs in the current environment, continue to rise. Everything from the expenses of vegetation management to contractor and material costs significantly increased in price throughout the past year. To cover the costs while continuing to provide you with the superior reliability and service you've come to expect from us, it was necessary for us to increase our rates last October. For most rate classes, this increase was split between the kilowatt hour charge and our availability charge, which is the fixed portion of our bill. The availability charge is designed to cover the cost of maintaining a distribution system to serve you before you ever turn on your light switch. For most of you, as residential members, the availability charge increased from $31 to $33 a month, and the per kilowatt hour charge increased from 12.68 cents to 13.37 cents. For the typical residential member using 835 kilowatt hours per month, this resulted in 5.3% increase in your monthly electric bill. If you've been a HomeWorks member for long, you know that we strive to keep any rate increases as minimal as possible. After the October adjustment, our rates are still in line with or lower than the neighboring investor-owned utility, even though we serve a rural territory with far less density. As your CEO, I can give you my word that just as we have over the past 87 years, we will remain committed to keeping our rates competitive and making sure that your electricity remains a great value for you now and into the future. Speaking of the future, let's talk about our state's energy future, which is undergoing a significant transformation with the late 2023 signing of a comprehensive set of bills by Governor Gretchen Whitmer. The bills passed swiftly on party lines, with House and Senate Democrats comprising all of the support for the package bills. You may have heard that the first of these bills, Michigan's new 100% clean energy by 2040 target, stands among the most ambitious in the country. It will require all the state's electric utilities to employ a portfolio of 100% carbon-free resources by 2040, surpassing the rigor of even California's clean energy laws. Clean energy is largely defined as wind, solar, hydro, and nuclear. This legislation mandates utilities to procure 50% of their energy from renewables by 2030, escalating to 60% by 2035, a substantial leap considering the state currently stands at 16%. Starting in 2035, the renewable portfolio standard transitions to a clean energy standard requiring all utilities to obtain 100% of their energy from non-carbon emitting resources by 2040. Last fall, our power supplier, Wolverine Power Cooperative, made a monumental long-term commitment on behalf of Homeworks and other Michigan co-ops to purchase power from the Palisades nuclear power plant upon its historic restart. In their legislation, lawmakers recognize the Palisades plant as a vital reliability asset, allowing its output to count both towards renewable and clean energy targets as soon as it comes online. This is beneficial for Michigan Electric Cooperative members and underscores the significance of our Palisades power purchase agreement. Additionally, Homeworks and Michigan's other electric cooperatives already power members with over 50% carbon-free energy, placing us in a better position than many to meet the carbon-free requirements. Nevertheless, the bill overall is still a big lift for Michigan. We still have concerns regarding the pace of decarbonization and its impact on electric reliability and affordability. While we support investments in clean energy, we must also consider the operational realities. Constructing large-scale projects demands considerable time and financial resources, which makes the proposed timeline a challenge for the majority of Michigan's electric utilities. It's also estimated that utilities will need approximately 200,000 plus additional acres for wind and solar power generation to achieve the renewable energy targets in the legislation. We take legislative advocacy very seriously at Homeworks, and I have spoken in the state Congress on the need for a responsible transition that ensures our members and residents across the Midwest and the nation have the electric capacity to meet growing demands as we move toward a clean energy future. My staff and I will continue to engage our legislators and advocate on your behalf on this issue and other relevant matters affecting your communities. The second important bill of the new energy legislation mandates that electric co-op boards approve energy waste reduction plans and programs. Co-ops are now obligated under statute to submit a waste reduction plan to the Michigan Public Service Commission every 4 years. While this represents a more structured process compared to current co-op practices, through our legislative advocacy, we were able to achieve the authority of our local co-op boards to oversee these programs, which is a win for our members who enjoy the flexibility we have to customize our energy optimization programs to meet their needs. As you're probably aware, we're already ahead of the game here at Homeworks, because when the state mandate for energy optimization expired in 2021, we developed our own EO program to continue to meet the energy efficiency needs of our members. Our EO program offers cash rebates to our members who implement qualifying energy efficient measures at their home, farm, or business. In 2023, participating members earned over $210,000 in rebates and saved over 1.2 million kilowatt hours of energy. That's a win-win for our members and our carbon footprint. Anything from new light bulbs to upgraded appliances, HVAC systems, electric vehicles, and more qualify for this program. So I encourage you to visit homeworks.org/EO to learn what rebates you might be eligible to receive. While you're there, you might also want to take a look at our solar energy options. This is something a lot of members are asking about lately. And I want to let you know that we do offer a very robust renewable energy program. As a Homeworks member, you can take part in our community solar offering, our distributed renewable energy option, or our buy all, sell all program, and more. These options offer you different levels of participation in producing solar energy to power your home or business and to sell power back to the electric grid as a whole. If you're interested in learning more about these offerings, give us a call and our energy advisor, Nick Simon, would be glad to talk to you. All right, next up, let's talk about Homeworks Tri-County Propane. Can you believe this service is celebrating 25 years in business this year? In recognition of that significant milestone, we put together a video highlighting our propane team and the exceptional service they've provided to our customers for the past 2.5 decades. I hope you enjoy it.
Homeworks Tri-County Propane was founded in 1999 to bring propane service to our member customers in the rural area.
They partnered with another propane company and basically started with 2 customer service representatives and 2 service techs. And we've grown to over 4,300 customers and 13 counties.
We wanted to be a propane company that was different from others. So when we started the propane business, we actually treat our propane customers just like we do our electric members. We tried to give them a service that we didn't have to pay extra fees, no hidden fees, the same price for everyone. So we wanted to be a little bit different and honest, upfront, a trustworthy company.
I think a lot of people switch to us because of reliability. We don't play into any of the pricing games. We don't charge any extra fees. When you get a delivery, you're paying for the delivery and tax, and that's it. One of the biggest things that we've done here that's helped our propane services has probably been our safety. I really think that we are probably the safest propane company out there. We're at the top in the state. I truly believe that.
So our customer service reps in the call center for our propane business have to be certified through the Propane Gas Association. So they know what safety standards have to be met and knows how to answer all the questions. If there's a gas leak, they can handle that and get that dispatched.
Our field personnel like to treat the customers just like the rest of the co-op, and they're part of the family. They're always willing to go above and beyond. Customers know they can count on us to provide safe, affordable, and reliable service all winter long.
So there you have it. Since 1999, our propane crews have done an exceptional job of delivering great value to customers in our area with dependable propane at competitive prices. At the same time, our experienced and highly trained propane customer service team has worked to provide superior service. We have grown over the years and now serve over 4,300 propane customers throughout our rural service territory. But what has remained is the way we provide propane with the same great safety, service, and reliability that you've come to expect from your co-op. If you don't have our propane service yet, we are offering a special district meeting deal to new customers for the month of May. So call us today and make the switch. Now I want to wrap up my update with some information on our rapidly growing Homeworks Connect fiber internet and phone service. I know many of you are connected to our network, and I hope you're enjoying the high speeds, unlimited data, and 24/7 service we are able to provide. Have you also started to take advantage of our new TechShield and MyBundle service? We have made it available to all subscribers at no additional cost. TechShield offers you added internet security and storage, while MyBundle helps you learn what streaming TV options are best for you. If you'd like to learn more about these services, visit our website or give our fiber team a call. We finished up our Homeworks Connect network build out to our entire membership last May. So I'm incredibly proud to say that every single Homeworks member across our rural footprint now has access to gigabit broadband service. We're up to nearly 12,000 internet subscribers and over 1,000 phone subscribers. And we're beginning to expand our network to non-member areas such as the city of Portland. We're almost done building out our fiber network there, and the take rate amongst the residents so far is exceeding expectations. Expanding our network like this allows us to continue to meet our mission to provide quality communication services to the unserved and underserved in rural mid-Michigan, while also adding value to our electric members who subscribe to Homeworks Connect, as they will eventually see equity returned as additional capital credits when this business turns profit. As you know, quality rural broadband access has become even more vital than ever before over the past few years, and it's only becoming more of a necessity in day-to-day life. We're proud to be answering the need for members and non-members alike across rural mid-Michigan. Similar to electricity, The cost of providing reliable broadband service has risen quite a bit since we began building our network in 2018. We do not play pricing games with our HomeWorks Connect packages, and we have not increased our rates at all since the product was first launched. In fact, we actually doubled the speeds of our packages at no cost in 2021 to provide even more value to our subscribers. In the wake of the network outage we experienced earlier this year due to a data center failure, we've also invested significant resources into an enhanced broadband redundancy plan that has made our fiber service even more reliable. Currently, we're looking at how we can restructure our internet packages to offer greater subscriber value while adequately covering our rising costs. We'll provide more information on that to our subscribers later this year. If you haven't signed up for HomeWorks Connect yet, you can by visiting join.homeworksconnect.org to check out everything we have to offer. So that was a quick look at the past year of your co-op. As you can see, we've been busy, and it's been a productive year of exciting growth, change, and opportunity. Throughout the rest of the year and beyond, I can promise you that we will always maintain our commitment to providing you with safe, reliable, and affordable utility services that enhance your quality of life.
Thank you for providing that great update, Chris. I hope you all enjoyed hearing about some of the things we've been up to over the past year here at your co-op. Chris is back here with me live to answer some of your questions before wrapping up with the most exciting part of the night, our prize giveaways. But first, let's reveal the next symbol on your scratch-off cards. Scratch off circle number 2, and if it matches the symbol shown now, you're in luck. Whether or not you have any matches yet, keep that card handy because we'll reveal the final winning symbol after the Q&A session. If you have a question that you'd like our CEO to try and address tonight, please type it in using the Q&A button now. We've received a few questions from attendees prior to tonight's meeting during the registration process, so Chris will answer those now. All right, starting with some power supply questions. Are there any future planned outages in our area for 2024?
So I've spoken with both our operations and engineering teams, and there are no planned outages on the electric distribution side whatsoever for 2024. We may, and most likely will, have maintenance windows on our broadband through our broadband business over the month of June, specifically as we deploy our enhanced redundancy plan to enter another data center to make our service offering even more reliable than it is today.
Thank you. Next question about power supply. What does the power supply look like for the summer peaks? And do you think there's a potential for blackouts?
Yeah, so I know there was a couple questions about power supply related to brownouts or blackouts specific to 2024. And the reality hasn't changed fundamentally since last year. And what I mean by that is Michigan is still a importer state, meaning we import power 90% of the time. And we have a limited ability because of the way our transmission feeds are configured into the state to be able to import more. So being that we're running very thin reserve margins as far as supply or generation is concerned, if we have a fault or a maintenance, urgent maintenance need on a generator or we have a transmission feed go down, there's a likelihood in that scenario that we will have some type of rolling blackout in absence of more generation coming on very quickly. And I just don't see that happening.
Thank you. Somebody asked, I would like to see an app that shows internet outages, not just power outages. Is that something that we're working on?
We would love to see that also. And we're actually in the middle of working with our main software provider to do that exact thing, which is offer essentially what we're doing on our electric side with outage mapping on our broadband side. So that's something that we're working very diligently with those folks on currently. Great question.
Great. You talked about this a little bit already, but with renewable energy being mandated by the government, how is it possible to meet and pay for this?
So in absence of some pretty significant technological advancements, it's going to be difficult in order to meet the 2040 targets and to control the costs associated with building all that additional renewable. In absence of the advancement of technology, we would need greater transmission in order to take renewables that have high load factor out in the plains areas and import that energy into Michigan. So those would be really the two things that need to take place in order for us to get there effectively from a reliability perspective and make it affordable.
Awesome. Thanks for that great answer. When service is out for internet, why don't we get a credit?
So the membership has actually decided that they don't offer outage credits because essentially, since we're a not-for-profit, member-owned, democratically controlled co-op, it would be members subsidizing members for outage credits, meaning you may get an outage credit today, but then you would be paying an outage credit for somebody else tomorrow. And instead of doing that, sort of pushing costs around, the membership decided back in actually 2014 that they would not be doing outage credits to members because it didn't make sense according to our business structure.
That was great. Very insightful. Can we talk about the difference between reliable energy versus so-called renewable energy? Reliable energy has served us well, is what this person has stated.
Yeah, so it's important to note that the co-op is greatly involved in renewable energy. We've been the leaders at greater than 20% renewable in Michigan, and we also are over 50% carbon free. So we do have a power supply position that is advantageous in the light of the new law. However, when we talk about reliability, we need renewables to get to the point where they're not as variable. And what I mean by that is that we have advancements in maybe battery technology that stores that energy from variable sources to a time where we need it the most and is dispatchable in nature, the way that base load, things such as fossil fuel or even nuclear are today. And so we can't discontinue the use of base load resources until we have base load to replace it. And that's the message that we've sent to Lansing, we've sent to Washington, D.C., is that we simply cannot compromise reliability and affordability to our membership.
Thank you. Next question is about our electric lines. Will Homeworks be burying more of the electric lines in the future?
Yeah, so the burial of electric lines is really strategic in nature. And in a lot of cases, it's based upon geography, meaning are we going through a swamp? Are we going through areas that are sort of off the road? And also density. Do we have a lot of homes where it doesn't make sense to have overhead lines in place? That being said, a properly maintained aerial distribution system can be just as effective as an underground one if maintained properly. And it's important to consider that the burial of underground infrastructure is about 3 to 4x or times what an overhead system costs. So rates would be a lot higher than they are today if we made a decision that all new infrastructure would be underground.
Thank you for that explanation. So we're going to switch gears a little bit to propane. So this person asked, I'm wondering why we get a charge each year for using less propane. It really doesn't make sense that we should be penalized for using less carbon. Our tank is smaller and we have efficient heating with supplemental electric and wood.
So really, this gets to an issue of business solvency. And what I mean by that is, in order for the organization to pay for the investment of the tank and the investment of labor to put the tank on the property, we have to recover that cost at what I'll call the glacial pace of utility cost recovery. In a situation where a homeowner has a Homeworks tank, but might not be using any gas out of it, we can't make that cost recovery in order to make it break even, essentially. And so what we have to do in that situation is cover our costs so they're not subsidized by other individuals, customers or members, and bill those yearly equipment rental fees. And I know it's not popular, but it's something that's necessary to keep the business solvent.
Thank you. Next up is talking about Homeworks Connect. So this person says that they have family in Sumner, Michigan. Their family members are on Consumers Energy up there. Is there a way for us to run our internet lines on other electric service poles?
So that is a permitted activity. We certainly can do that. That's not a regulated business. Unlike our electric service, we cannot run that on other utilities poles. That being said, those are really, as far as service to non-members, those are really questions for the membership and the board at large. What would they like staff to pursue? Would they like staff to pursue non-member connections in a more robust way? Currently, we're only connecting non-members that are very close to our distribution plant with broadband, but obviously there was the City of Portland build out that added value. That being said, it's a question for the members. Do they want us to expand and create greater value for them with this system that they built for their purposes?
Thank you for that. So can Homeworks increase the buyback rate to reduce the time for solar systems to pay for themselves? So I think this is talking about our solar credits.
Yeah. So great question. If we were to increase the rate, essentially, let's talk about how we structure it currently. The way that we pay our solar energy credits back to members who have solar at their location is through avoided costs. So that would be, what is our power supply portfolio look like, and how much does it cost currently for us to buy that energy versus buy it from a member from their solar array? So that being said, if we were to pay more to members who have solar than we would through our power supply portfolio, all of the other members within the co-op would be subsidizing that member's solar system. And that's something that our membership and frankly our board doesn't find tenable. And we're founded on the basis of one member, one vote. We base our rates on cost of service, and this is a classic cost of service question where we're paying avoided cost for that solar energy in a way that we pay it in our power supply portfolio.
Thank you for that. This member we're going back to Homeworks Connect now.
Sure.
This member is saying that they are getting unstable network connections. Do you think it's the internet or their computer?
Without diving into the technical aspects of your setup, it's tough for me to answer that off the cuff. I tell you what, you really need to give us a buzz so that we can walk through the connectivity issues, because it could be a device, it could be an app, it could be Wi-Fi. It could be a number of different things that you have going on in your environment there. And so it's really an individual question that we'd love to help you with. So please give us a call on that.
Awesome. Thank you. And then I think this is our last question for tonight.
Mhm.
So does Homeworks partner with companies to install propane heaters that replace fuel oil or electric air conditioning units?
We generally don't. So we try to stay, I guess fairly neutral on who folks use for HVAC in the same way that we stay neutral for who folks use as electricians within their home. So we don't partner with anybody specifically. We do have lists of folks that we can give you to call, but again, we don't refer or recommend anybody. We try to stay out of that game and respect those folks operating their own businesses.
All right. I think that's all we have for tonight.
Thank you so much for those insightful questions. If I didn't get to your question, please know that we've noted your question and we'll contact you and follow up with you individually to address your concern. To conclude, let me say thank you all for your attendance at your virtual district meeting tonight. We're looking forward to seeing you at your park party in June.
All right. Now it's time to reveal the final winning symbol on your scratch off card and give away some big raffle prizes. For that, we're going to pass it over to Executive Assistant Michelle Hoon and Manager of Employee and Member Engagement, Angel McCliggett. Good luck.
Thank you, Casey and Chris. Okay, let's reveal that last symbol on your scratch off card. Grab your card and scratch off circle number 3 to see if it matches the symbol shown on the screen now.
All right, now that we have revealed all of the sections, look to see if your card matches any of the symbols on the screen. If it matches one symbol, you win 1 free month of Homeworks Connect service or an equivalent bill credit. If it matches 2 sections, you win 3 free months. And if you are a lucky winner to match all 3 sections, you'll receive a grand prize of 6 free months of Homeworks Connect service.
That's a great prize.
That sounds amazing, doesn't
Yes,
it?
it does. So just send your winning cards into the address shown on the card by May 31st, and we'll apply your prize to your account. Congrats to all your winners.
Okay, moving on to our raffle drawings, because we know that's why you're really here. I'm just kidding. We have randomly selected our prize winners tonight from the list of those who are in attendance this evening. So let's get started.
Okay, the first prizes that we're going to give away this evening are $25 bill credits. We have 4 people that we're going to give those credits to. The first one is Neil Estep, Diane Meredith, Deborah Rowe, and Lola Callahan.
Okay, and next up is a two $50 bill credits. The first one goes to James Morrison and the second one to Stephanie Florian.
Okay, and we have some grilling items we're going to give away this evening. The first one is a grilling accessory kit. The winner of that prize is Tony Clayton.
And next up is an Amazon Echo Show for Willard Kinsman.
And then to go with that, we have a speaker. So when you're grilling, you can use the speaker. It's a Sony compact wireless speaker. The winner of that is for Amy Davis.
And for when you don't want to hear the speaker, we have some wireless noise canceling earbuds for Hillary Wilson.
And then to stay along with our grilling theme, we have a smokeless indoor grill. This sounds so fun.
It does.
Yeah. The winner of the grill this evening is for Amber Vorai. Hopefully I said that right. Sorry, Amber.
I don't know. That looks like a hard word. And then to go along with that, we have a Bluetooth meat thermometer for Benjamin Cook.
And then also to stay with the theme, we have a 20-pack backpack Arctic cooler. The winner of that is Cassidy Phelan.
And then another great prize that we have tonight is a wood fire pizza oven. And that one is going to Erica Conley. I think that's the most fun one that we have. I can't wait to see how everybody likes that one.
Yes, I agree. So we also decided to do some gift cards to some local restaurants. We like to start to stay local. This first one here is one of our members. It is for the Wagon Wheel here in Portland for $50. And the winner of that is Vicki Williamson.
And another great restaurant that we're giving $50 to is Buddies on the Beach in Waco. Just tried that recently for the first time. Love it. And that goes to Patricia. I think is it Ruddick? Ruddick? I
think so.
We'll contact you, Patricia. Sorry for butchering your name. And that's it for our prizes this evening. Thank you so much for attending, and we hope you enjoyed your district meeting. If you want a bill credit this evening, it will be placed on your account in the coming days. If you want a gift card, we will mail it to you. And if you want another prize, we will be calling you to make plans to get it to you.
Thank you, everyone, and have a great night.
Have a great night.